Routledge and I'm a demonstrator for the North Midlands area of NAFAS, and I'd like to do this demonstration today using this gorgeous piece of driftwood. Now normally this is a piece of driftwood I would use vertically, it has a little stand that fits in there, so I thought we'd have a change and use it horizontally today. I've inserted some test tubes, I've drilled along the bottom here, and with a couple of dowels I've attached a piece of branch that I found just up the road actually. I foraged for it. I think it's an old piece of oak. And so I've attached that on so it looks like it's floating above the main base. And then in here I've got lots of test tubes that I've wrapped with the paper coloured covered wire. And I've used a technique with the two stub wires there, and then I've wrapped around so you've got an extension, and then you've got this lovely tail that you can bend and work into your design. And I've also got inside lots of little of the acrylic test tubes, and they're all positioned in different angles so they're not straight, so hopefully the stems will look a little bit more organic, which is what I'm aiming for. And this design has also got some of this black cane worked through it. Now this is brilliant. It's so flexible that you can manoeuvre it into any position and it doesn't break unless you're really bad with it. And of course I've got this gorgeous asparagus fern which I bleach naturally. I'll just show you. I've got a bunch here that's already been dried. I just leave it in one of the glass houses here and I let the sun do the job. And of course I've sprayed it with a little bit of hairspray to hopefully stop it from dropping. Now everything I'm going to use is from our gardens here, so it's whatever I can find, whatever we've grown. And we have some lovely cut flowers in our cutting gardens at the moment. And I just saw the sunflowers and thought, oh, they just cheer you up, don't they? I think like pansies, sunflowers have a face that just makes you smile as you walk past. And I thought they'd be lovely and work quite nice with the woods there. And also they're quite heavy form, and I think this design needed a little bit of weight adding to it due to the base being quite heavy, so I thought these would work quite well. And some of them have got a little bit of a rustic tone to them. That's a variety called Music Box. It's just a mix from a mixed packet of seed, and we like to grow the bush varieties. So you get lots and lots of stems coming from the main branch, and they generally only grow up to about 3 foot high. So they're great for using in arrangements. So I'm hopefully going to put these in, but not all facing forward. I'd like them all to face in different directions, so it looks a little bit more organic. Now, as you know, sunflowers are heliotropic. So if they were growing in the garden, they actually would be facing all the same direction. So they're not going to be facing forward this time. So I'm just moving those through. I'm working from behind the design because I haven't got a turntable big enough to fit this piece of wood on. Now that will definitely have to go on my wish list for the future. So I became a demonstrator about 3 years ago now, and I've really enjoyed attending all the different clubs in the North Midlands. And like many of us, we're all looking forward to getting back out there and seeing all the friendly flower faces in NAFAS. I thought I'd also incorporate some sweet pea, but instead of just cutting one of the long stems, I've cut a whole branch, if you like. And hopefully that'll just add in and bring a little bit of colour down right to the tip without me having to put a test tube right down there at the base. And the sweet peas, of course, they do smell lovely. We've had a good crop this year, been picking, you must pick every day to stop them going to seed. So yes, I've been really pleased with those. We've had a good growing season in the garden generally. Everything's grown really well. We've had enough rain and enough sun. And we grow a lot of dahlias here. In fact, I've set up a new bed of dahlias, and this is a variety called Nuette d'Ette. which means summer night apparently. And when you're picking your dahlias, they're always very, very branchy and bushy, so you end up actually snipping quite a lot off just to get that flower. And sometimes I'll take the bud off too, but today I think I'm going to leave it on, although I do need them short, so probably not. So I'm just going to add some of these in between. I thought the dark colour would pick up the dark centre of the sunflower. Now, there are so many different kinds of dahlias. And this is one of the cactus varieties, so it's a little bit spiky, like a cactus if you like. But there's some fabulous ones, and the new ones that I've grown this year have some fabulous names as well. There's Fashion Monger, there's Joey Joshua, oh, and I've grown some Cafe au lait, which would be gorgeous in here too. They're one of my favourites. Now they are what you call a dinner plate dahlia, so they're huge. So maybe they would have been a little bit too big to use. But I thought these would work in quite nicely. So just adding those in so we get a little bit of the darkness coming right down to the base as well. I think you could just about see those. But to add another little bit of this dark maroon colour, I've chosen some scabious Blackberry scoop. Now this grows quite wild in the garden, and you have to virtually untangle it as you're picking it. But the bees and the butterflies this year have absolutely, certainly enjoyed these flowers. And I thought I'd float a few of these through, so fairly organically going through, just like they would grow in the garden there. So over the past few weeks, I've been thinking quite a lot about demonstrating and maybe changing some dems as we go back into a new season, if you like. And I've decided to create another 2 dems over this time. And this piece of driftwood I'm hoping to incorporate into a dem called Rustique, which I took the name actually from an area show. We're having our own area flower show. It was due to be held here this October, but has now been moved to next October. And I thought, actually, I've got so many rustic looking containers and natural pieces of bark and wood. I thought, actually, I'll have a demonstration entitled Rustique. So partly inspired by what I'd got already at home, and then partly inspired by our area competition that's going to happen here next year, which I'm really excited about. And hopefully it will be a good opportunity for everybody to get their creativity flowing for it. So they're just floating through. It's a lovely dark colour. I might just fit one in down there. And it's got these little white bits coming through as well, which are the actual stamens of the flower. But it does look like a blackberry scoop, a scoop of ice cream. So they're just floating through there. Now, designs like this, a lot of the work has gone into the construction. And you actually don't need a lot of flowers. I did ponder about what to use. And I think you've either got to use a lot of fine flowers and delicate flowers to just balance out the weight of the base, or use some weighty flowers to balance out the base. So I thought the sunflowers would be ideal for that. And we've grown this gorgeous grass at home as well. This is Setaria Lowlander. It's got these gorgeous fluffy plumes which have a little maroon tinge to them, and thought it'd be nice to add in some linear foliage in there to contrast against the round forms of the scabious and the sunflowers. So the grass will just give it that more natural field grown look. Just looking for the test tubes now. That's the beauty of these little clear test tubes. You can't actually see them when you're looking through into a design. And I'm even missing them now. So there's 1 or 2. And they've all got the water in. I used my trusty little bottle earlier. Always have one of these in my toolbox. So there's not a lot of flowers gone in there, but it's just given a nice colourful, it does speak of summer, especially with the sunflowers, that hopefully will cheer up maybe a long sideboard or just be a nice piece just to have to decorate a room with. Amaranthus, we grow a lot of this because I find it's so good for drying, and we go the green and we go the purple. So I thought I'd use a little bit of the purple. That's the long, it's quite long, isn't it, that one? You have to spend a little bit of time removing the leaves, because the leaves just obscure the lovely tassels. So get rid of those to reveal those lovely furry tassels. And I'm cutting them, actually, I'm cutting every single day at the moment from the cutting garden. So nothing has got too big yet, I'm not giving it a chance, but all the little side shoots are developing. So I know that once I've cut, say this one, from the main plant, loads of little ones will reappear. So that's what a cutting garden's about, really. You've got to keep cutting. I thought I'd add a little bit of these just to bring that maroon down into the base of the design. And hopefully you can still see it's got some rhythm in there through the flat cane and the lovely floating asparagus there. I'm just going to add some of those through. And with working from behind, because of not having a turntable big enough, I'm using the camera as a bit of a mirror. And I think I'm fairly happy with that. So I hope you've enjoyed my demonstration today, and look forward to hopefully seeing you in the future.